everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Geek Authority's Mysterious Chamber of Collectibles. And I wanted to go over some of the holiday gifts that I received and some of the games that I previewed previously, but we actually play tested and played them, and I can tell you a little bit more about them. So the games are all over the place, got some holiday ones and some new different ones, different kind of role-playing, cooperative, competitive, that kind of stuff. So to start off, I just want to, let's start with the holiday ones. I had mentioned I'd gotten this. It's green. That's why it's disappearing. It's called Elf. And we played it several times, actually. And it's one of those you can repeat over and over and over, and no two games will ever be the same. But what I really liked is the board game is pretty much a puzzle piece. And if you look on the imagery, you'll see it's variations of the scenes that Will Ferrell went in the movie Elf, which is what it's based on. And the premise of the game is to basically take Buddy from the North Pole to New York City so he can meet his dad. And what's fun about it is the way you go about it is you pick up these cards, and they're tiny. Otherwise, I'd show them to you. They're literally really tiny cards, which is my only complaint about it, because some of them, it's hard to move and manipulate. And, if you've got a stack of them, they fall over real easy, but they loop. You have to lead Buddy on these little tiny cards that have arrows that go, left, right, up, down, loop. And in order to get him to New York, you have to match him up edge by edge to get him down to New York. In the meantime, you've got a mission to accomplish and go to different places. Let me just show you the back real quick. It'll kind of show you how the board is laid out. But as you can see, where am I? There's Buddy, and you place the cards out so he can walk all over the board in order to get to New York City. That was one of the fun holiday ones. Another one, which I was impressed with, we got it as a gift, and it's called Frosty the Snowman. Now you're thinking, Frosty the Snowman? Yep, Rankin and Bass. Very good, obviously, holiday movie for the kids and the whole family. Basically, it's about the parade. You know how they march through the city with the broomstick in his, yep. So basically, you're marching the people, the kids, and then you've got Lucky the rabbit, who's also trying to help out. Lucky the rabbit, Hocus Pocus. It's right there, Hocus Pocus. My bad. And Hocus Pocus is kind of an extra card that you can use to change a color or a character. What I mean by that is, if you notice, there's all different colors around the borders. Maybe you can't see that too well, I don't know. And around each character. And basically, you've got this master card. You kind of randomly pick, I think, 5 or 6 of the rows, and you have to match them up in order. It's up to every player's turn to put the correct color or switch to get that order, and you have to do it in a certain amount of cards. But as the deck goes down, there's limitations, and then sometimes you get there, sometimes you don't. But it's fun because you'd have to do the coordination. It's kind of a cooperative thing, and it's great fun for the family, and turned out to be surprisingly fun for adults, because it was only adults playing. We're like, and of course remembering the cartoon. Now, you remember another classic Christmas movie? They call it a Christmas movie. I believe it came out in summer when it was originally released. Gremlins, Holiday Havoc. Now, this is definitely a competitive game, because basically it's kind of like, it's like War, for those of you who can remember it or ever heard of it, the card game. It's basically, you're trying to match cards to get cards. The more you match, the quicker you are to put your hand down for it and pull the deck is the only way you're going to win the game, having the most cards. Now, there's some little things stopping on the way. There's like different locations of from the movie that will either allow you to move forward faster or slow you down or make you miss a turn. So again, one of these really good little games that was surprisingly so much fun to actually do. Okay, here we go. I wanted to switch over and show you some other games that we actually play tested, and I had previewed before. This game called Horrified. It's basically a seriously intense cooperative game, because as the cover displays, it's the Universal monsters: Frankenstein, Dracula, the Mummy, Bride of Frankenstein, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and Wolfman, and of course the Mummy. Oh, and the Invisible Man, unless I said that already. But I did want to show you the game board. This is it. This is us. We're actually playing it. As you can see, maybe you can or can't, but if you look real closely, there's images. There's villagers that are running around the village that you place on the board that the monsters both attack and sometimes subdue, as well as if you notice, there's different locations: the mansion, the graveyard, things like that, and basically you're on a quest to defeat all these monsters, and they each have specific requirements on how to do it. 3 coffins for Dracula. I think there's 3 charmed items for the Mummy, and so on and so forth. So not only are you trying to defend the villagers and keep them alive, but you got to collect these items that'll actually get rid of the monsters. Now, for beginners, they recommend 2 particular monsters, but for a full-out game, if you have like 4 to 6 people, you unleash those things. You guys, as cooperatively, have to decide who's going to do what and who's going to take care of what monster and defend what villagers, and you move on location, and they can even attack you and kill you if you're not too careful as well. That's the back of the box, which is kind of fun. Kind of shows you a little bit more information on what that box is in terms of the pieces. Lots of cards, as you can see, and okay, here's another game we play tested. This one's called Amazed. Believe it or not, this was created and designed by Neil Patrick Harris. Yes, from How I Met Your Mother fame, as well as a bunch of other movies that he was in, as well as he had his own like magic show there for a while, variety show kind of thing. Anyway, this is his game. It's basically a game of, notice the cards there. There's coins. Your coins represent your player pieces. The board is that where all the books are sitting on, where the Amazed rule book and the clue givers are. Basically, it's riddles and puzzles, verbal riddles and verbal puddles. Puddles? Let's say that again. Puzzles. Hello. You'd think it was Monday morning. It's not. But anyway, these are puzzles that you have to solve, riddles that you have to solve or figure out. Got a little timer. You got to do it in such amount of time. Every time you get correct, you get to roll your dice and move across the board and pick one of 3 colors. I believe it's green, blue, and red. Red being the most hardest. And let me tell you, it's for me, it's difficult because I'm good at puzzle solving in terms of actual puzzles, but riddles not so much because it's association and wordplay and all that. So that's the back of the box. 2+ players. I would suggest if you have like 4 people, 6 people, 8 people, 10 people, play in teams, because everyone's going to give each other's clues, and you only have a certain amount of time to do this. And it's a fun party game, I believe. We only played it with 2 people, and I'm not being that great, so I didn't win. But I can see with a team, if I had a team member and we're all trying to help each other out, it would be so much fun. This is another game that we got. It's called Back to the Future, Back in Time. Now, this is, of course, based on the movie where Marty McFly is trying to get back to the future. Basically, you have Jennifer, Einstein, and Doc trying to help you get a couple things. Get Lorraine and George to fall in love and stay in love, because Biff is spending the whole game trying to get them out of love and cause problems and prevent you from getting what you need. Once you got to keep them in love, there's a little love chart, believe it or not. Let me flip here. The love chart is in the upper right. And in that love chart is the photograph of the famous photo of his brother and sister as they were seen in his time. But as time has changed and Biff is screwing things up, the pictures get taken away. There's 6 little images of it. Once the picture is flipped over and each of the characters disappear, Marty and his brother and sister, the game ends. Okay. The other way the game ends, and you could lose as a group. It's all cooperative, by the way, if I didn't say that. Is the DeLorean needs 3 parts, 3 specific pieces to make the time travel possible. Not only that, He's got to get over. If you notice on the board there, there's a little track where the DeLorean goes. The DeLorean's on the upper center there, toward the right a little bit. And then you can see the track of where the DeLorean goes around, down, and then to the left. And then there's 3 spaces it has to be at. You have to do this before 10:03 p.m. There's a little time tracker board that you have to, every turn you move it 1 and you do what the board says. In the meantime, like I said, Biff is chasing you and screwing up George and Lorraine. So it's complicated. It's fun. It's a dice game. So the cards tell you what to do, but the dice, it's a luck of the draw on whether or not you succeed with each parts, with each piece of the part, I should say. You can see the little figures. I played as Marty, and Michael played as Einstein, which is kind of fun. Yes, he can help you as well. And Biff is right there by the clock tower, the red guy, sitting up there next to the one part. If you can see, it's the hook for the DeLorean for the time travel, as well as the clock tower. Now, the clock tower is kind of fun. You build it. It's a 2-piece thing. You build it. But you can roll your dice in there. You drop your dice at the top of the clock tower, and they roll out off the steps there, and it's kind of fun. We started using it, and then it was like, let's just roll, because sometimes there's a bunch of people in front of there, and you end up knocking them into the wrong section. But it's definitely a fun game. I would suggest playing. It's one of these games you want to play with more than 1, 2, 3, 4 people. Actually, you have to play with 2, but you do need. It's much more fun in terms of the mechanics of the game if you play with more people because of what's going on. Now I'm going to switch to this game. It's called Mission X Code, and let me do this real quick. I just want to show you. This is what the box looks like. Oh my God, I forgot. It's all green. The numbers are green, so they're kind of going to disappear on you. But the front and the back of the box are upside down. But let me go back to the image, and you will see that it is the kind of card game. It's a card game. It's a time thing. There are 3 cards that allow you to extend your time. Notice the Sen timer right there. It's in the right-hand side of the image there. And basically you have to decode. How do you decode? Basically, you have to get rid of 1 through 0 on a basically keypad. It's basically a phone pad with both the asterisk and the hashtag on it. So the way to do that is you have to get 3 of whatever that image is, 3 of the 9s, 3 of the 3s, 3 of the asterisks, or whatever. And the whole game, you're kind of communicating with each other. Okay, I've got 2 asterisks. Okay, and then someone else will yell, "Oh, I got another one." So the objective is to get you, the person with the 2, the other one. But the only way to do that is to give him a card, him or her, a card of the opposite color. There's 2 colors, as you can see. There's kind of an orangish, a yellowish, and a blue color. So if you need 1 asterisk because you have 2, and he has a yellow asterisk, you have to give him a blue anything kind of situation. Kind of confusing. I get it, but we played it once, and there's different levels too. They take away the time cards. They take away the certain aspects of mechanics of the game that make it easier. So we got, I think, up to level 5 because it was so much fun. It was one of those where we're like, let's play it again. Let's play it again. Let's play it again. And you're running against the timer, and no 2 games are alike because you don't know who's going to get what cards when. And that's what makes it a lot of fun. So, this is another game that was incredible. Let me tell you. Again, we played it with 2. We look forward to playing it with more people in the future because of this pandemic. We used to have this monthly gaming day, the Geek Authority, and we'd meet at a restaurant, and a bunch of us, 6, 7, 10 of us would get together and play board games or card games or whatever. This is one that I think the group will enjoy. Basically, I can see the board. You get a character. You can be, by the way, it's all villains, no good guys. The goodies are the people working kind of against you, and the other players use the goodies for each character against you. For example, one of them is Captain Hook. So if someone's Captain Hook and say I'm Ursula, I can use Peter Pan and Tinkerbell against my opponent because he's Hook. Well, he's going to use Ariel and Eric and Scuttle and all kinds of things against me because I'm Ursula. It's not a cooperative, it's competitive. You kind of zap each other and do things and prevent different conditions to happen. It's really fun. And there's I believe there's 6 characters in the game. Let me see. Yeah, 6 characters. So in this particular, and there's additions to it. There's other villains in other boxes. I think there's 2 or 3 other sets you can add to this. So more characters to the game, more kind of fun to have. You've got Jafar, you've got Maleficent and Hook, and then you've got Ursula and Prince John and the Queen of Hearts in this original edition. So you want to get the original first, and then you get the add-ons, because some of the basic pieces don't come in the add-ons that you need for the game. It's got a cauldron too, so it's really, really kind of fun in terms of what you can expect. So again, these are games that are family-friendly, kid-friendly. Some are complicated to learn. For example, Horrified and Back to the Future, complicated to learn in terms of understanding the mechanics. But once you get it, once you figure it out, the second and third and the fourth play, you kind of learn from the last game what didn't work, and then you kind of incorporate, and then in case of Back to the Future, Biff is going to do something to you, and you're like, okay, that strategy's out the window. But anyway, and this one as well, because this particular one, Villains, is basically competitive. So you've got your fellow players trying to win the game and make it difficult for you. So in a villainous way. So very clever, very fun. Lastly, I want to, again, this is one of those games back in 2020, I introduced when I had gotten it, but we hadn't played it at that point. So again, wonderful game. Monopoly has 8 billion versions of their games. So you know, of course, that there's so many out there. But this particular one, this edition of it, there's another Mandalorian Monopoly game, but it has Grogu on the cover. It's a simple, I don't want to say, no, I don't want to say that. It's a lesser version of the original. It doesn't have as many spaces and properties, but it's designed for the kids and just as fun because the properties are hysterical. The chance cards are fun. The little figures they give you are fun. But again, back to this game. This is the one you want to get. This is Star Wars The Mandalorian. And by the way, if you saw season 2's finale, oh my God, if you weren't in tears, just don't talk to me. Anyway, this one in particular, this is so much fun. Well, I'll tell you why. You get to play as, one of the main characters, Mandalorian, Cara Dune, the bounty hunter droid. I can't remember his name. Does it say it on here? Anyway, it doesn't say it. But basically, the properties are basically all in the game, of course. You buy them. You get trade points for doing this. And the cards that are like chance and what's the other one? Community chest kind of thing, are cards that don't do anything like affect you other than the characters. They've got bad guys in there. They've got the 2 troopers, the black trooper and the fire troopers, as well as Gideon from The Mandalorian. They are actually playing against you through the mechanics of the game. So based on the cards you pick up and what spaces you land on and what die roll. So not only are you like trying to get the most, become rich and powerful in terms of properties, but you've also got these people trying to stop you and get Grogu, the baby Yoda character, who is right there, by the way. Grogu is actually moving on the board independently. He's got some rules on how he moves. So you're moving around the board, Grogu's moving around the board, and you've got 3 First Order Empire, I don't know what they are in this, characters trying to stop you and steal Grogu. And if Gideon gets to Grogu, game over. So it's kind of a cooperative / competitive, because obviously you want to be the winner with the most properties and the most money and all that other stuff, credits they call them. But you also want to keep Grogu alive and with you. And that's hard to do because it was, like I said, we played it a couple times and surprisingly so much fun. So, hey, I hope that gives you a little more insight. We did get a bunch of more games and stuff. I'd love to do a couple more videos, but I thought right after the holidays. This would be a good, what do I want to get myself with all that Christmas money if you haven't already spent it? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm your host, Lorenzo Marchese. This is the Geek Authority's Mysterious Chamber of Collectibles. Don't forget to check out my other shows. My favorite show, the one I love doing, because I talk to wonderful people from all walks of life, is, of course, the Geek Authority show. That's where I interview actors, writers, directors, producers, publicists, all kinds of people, collectors, fellow collectors, cosplayers, musicians. I hope I've covered everybody. If I didn't, you know, check it out. I also have a show called Talk About, which on occasion I get family and friends together and we talk about particular subjects. A couple of the episodes include the series Space 1999, the series Cobra Kai from series 1 and 2. Series 3 has recently been released, and it's so wonderful. As well as Disneyland and California Adventure in California being closed for 10 months. We talked about the experience of missing that. I also have a show called Unboxing the Geek Authority. Yep. I open things up for the first time, and you see it and I see it for the first time. I've got a lot of stuff from 2020 that was going on because of the holiday season and whatnot. So you want to check those out, as well as some of the other things that are out there. I also have a reviews, commentary, and opinion show, where basically I talk about things. They're my opinions. They're my ideas and concepts. Some bad, some good, some just my personal experiences. Hopefully, will give you a little enlightenment. Again, thank you so much for watching this show, and hope to see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe. That little subscribe button helps me a lot. Also, there's that little bell. Click the bell and it'll send you an email when I drop new things, and you can check it out whenever you have the time available. So have a great one. Play some games, everybody. Collect some things. Let me know what you think on the comments below, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.